A while back, we talked about correct body position for descending steep terrain. Now that we've got our position correct and we're planted nicely over our feet and able to use our footwork, we're going to talk about how to ride a steep switchback turn. When I'm riding a steep switchback turn, it's essential that I'm able to get my front and rear wheel to take two separate paths through the turn. The turn that we're working on here is actually too tight for both wheels to follow each other through. So in order to get my front wheel to take a wider path, I'm actually going to create a little bit of a pre-turn. This pre-turn has to be created really late coming into the turn because there's a bit of a rut coming down the trail as there typically is coming toward a switchback. In order to get out of the rut with my front wheel, I'm going to have to make a turn in the opposite direction that I'm actually going to be turning on the switchback. So essentially I'm going to be opening my knee in the opposite direction of the turn that I'm going to be taking. This is going to allow my bicycle to ride slightly up the hill with the front wheel. And as soon as that happens, I'm going to open my inside knee and actually take the turn that I'm looking to make. Coming down the trail, right at the very last second, I'm opening my inside knee and actually moving my hips in the opposite direction of the upcoming turn, allowing my front wheel to climb the bank of the turn. At that point, I'm going to shift to open my inside knee. And this is going to allow my body to then move in the direction of the turn I'm trying to take. There's a little bit of time in the middle where it's kind of a leap of faith. So I'm really going to have to trust that moving from one direction to the other is going to help make my turn a lot faster and smoother. Another thing I'm going to get from this is that I'm going to be able to find some backing on a turn. Almost all switchback turns end up with a rut down the middle. And most riders tend to slide right down the rut and then try to make it in the rut and try to have their front and rear wheels following each other. And typically they're not able to make the turn if it's really steep, really sharp, or really loose. By allowing my front wheel up onto the bank of the turn, I'm actually going to be able to use a little bit of a berm, essentially, on the outside of the turn, even if it's very rough looking. That's going to give me some nice backing as opposed to what's actually down in the rut where my rear wheel is. It doesn't really matter what my rear wheel is doing, as long as my front wheel makes it through the turn, my rear wheel is simply being towed behind me and is going to follow along for the ride.